Okay, now let's do a final project. Uh, the task is calculate the net VAT payable or refundable from this data. Number two, prepare ledger entries. Number three, prepare a VAT reconciliation summary in this downloads. Okay, in this form. Okay. So let's start with question number one. Calculate the net VAT payable or refundable. All right. Include only input VAT that is recoverable. Exclude input VAT related to exempt sales. Okay. So um uh for this one, let me just insert Control Shift plus. Let me just insert two columns. Right. So I'll first calculate input VAT. Input VAT. So input VAT, we know that input VAT, or before I go to that, uh, this is a range of data of date, type, description, supply or customer, VAT, amount, VAT rate, VAT amount gross. Okay. So this gross amount was arrived at by adding the VAT to the amount. Okay, you find that this is 5659. Right. So on here, we have started with the purchases, and as you go down, you have what? You have your sales. Right. So for me to simplify the calculations, I'll convert this range to what? To a table. So I just do Control T. So let's see if it has selected all the range. Okay. Then it says my table has headers. I just do OK. So that's my table there. So let me just create. So this data is in form of what? A table. Right. So for input VAT, we know that input VAT is to do with what? Purchases. Right. So what are we saying? We want to find, you know that we want to find the input VAT on purchases only, and uh, only those which are reduced, zero rated, and standard. And and here on the standard, you find that the rate is zero, and under VAT amount there is no amount. So this has simplified our work. All these transactions have been simplified in a way that we already have the rates. Okay. So as you see, in order for me to find the sum of all the input VAT, what I'll do is I'll use the sum if function. So it will be equals sum if tab. What's the range? Okay, so the range is the purchases. This is where I want to extract our figures. Okay, so this is the category that we'll use as a criteria to extract our figures. So comma, what will be the criteria? The criteria will be what? Purchase. Okay, or I can type um. It's not working. Why did it's not working? Okay. Purchase. That's the criteria. I'm searching for that. Um, comma, that's the criteria. The sum range, where do we want to get our totals? So it will be in the what? In the VAT amount column. And then I close and enter. Like that. That's our what? Our input VAT. Okay. Um, for the output VAT, it will be the same. Just to equals sum if tab. What will be the range? The range will be the same. What will be the criteria? The criteria will be cell. Okay. Or I can type again. Cell, comma. The range where I want my VAT will be this one. Close brackets. Enter. All right. So let me just format this. Format it. All right. So is this a liability or an asset? Okay. So it will be VAT. VAT claimable, mable, or payable. In brackets, payable. So if the result will be negative, it means it will be our VAT payable. We'll create what? We'll create a liability. Okay. So how do you calculate um um how do we calculate? So if I say okay, I think claimable should be negative and payable should be what? Should be positive. Okay. So if I do like this, if I say output minus input, enter. So we have more output VAT than input VAT. So we owe IRA or MRA that much. Okay. So that's one of the ways you can summarize this data. Right? Another way is to create what? To create a pivot table. So how do I create a pivot table? Since this is already in form of a table, you can just go to Insert, Pivot Table, and then New Worksheet. Okay, under the new worksheet, you just say supplier. Okay, yeah, supplier, and then VAT, VAT amount, VAT amount, values there, and then you see what's that? The VAT description. Oh, so on the VAT rate, you put it under what? Filters. So if you filter, uh, if you leave out the zero and say okay, we have all those which have what? Which have zeros. I mean, which not which we have removed all the zero rates. So now what you do is for each customer, for each and for customer, we can just group. Okay, for these rows which say customer, we can just group them and okay, select that and then group and give it a name, input. Oh no, sorry, output VAT. Okay, then you can okay for all the suppliers you do the same. For all the suppliers you do the same. Oh, where do I start? Okay, let me start here and see. Okay, let's see if I can group that as well. Just search from there. Okay. Yes. So that's input VAT, right? And then if I can do that, so that's what I'm getting. So if I want um if I want the difference, I can just manually do this. I can now manually do the calculations like output minus input. I'll get my result there. Okay. Why am I getting? Okay. Yes. I'm getting a different result. I'm getting a different result. Um, I'm getting a different result just because on the filter here, uh, it also include the, because if I put, it also includes the, what am I saying? Okay. Ah, right now. Okay. I'm getting a different result because when I filtered here, I this zero includes the zero rated and the exempt. Okay. So let's go to the pivot table. Let's remove the filter. Remove field. Action overlap. Okay, no problem. We're gonna remove that. So let's remove field. Okay, what do we remain with? Okay, output VAT. Hmm. Right. Okay. Do we have, do we have the category? I think if you can use this and let's try to remove that. Huh? Then again, if we have the VAT amount, VAT category, then we have the supplier. Okay, the supplier or customer. We still need that. Okay, let's put it under columns. Right. So if here we filter, we remove the exempt like that, and also under customer, we up to here, customer, we group that, group, okay, we'll give it a name, give it, okay, group one, we'll give it a name, which is output, output, VAT. And then for the supplier, we also group it. Also group the supplier, give it a name, we group it. It's group two. What's the name we're giving it? Give it okay, give it inputs VAT. Right. Okay, so it's output, it's input, we're getting 4,000. I don't know why for input VAT. Okay. mind. I think it's to do with the formatting. So let's just proceed. Okay. Now, let's look at the ledger entries. So what are we debiting? What are we crediting? Right. So for the purchases, what do we debit? We debit purchases by how much? Okay. The good thing about having data in this form, you can just go to table design and then add total row. So for each row, you get a total, right? So you get a total there. You also get a total there and there as well. Okay. So I go up. Okay. So for purchases, um, it's this column. Okay. So I'll do another sum if function. So I'll do sum if. By now you might be familiar with the sum if. Where are we getting our figures? From purchases, comma. Criteria will be the same purchases, comma. And then sum range, it will be this one. Enter. Then we'll talk about okay, that's the pages. And another debit will go to VAT. So the VAT is what? Is the input VAT. Okay. And then the credit will go to what? To trade payables. If we bought these things on what? On credit or cash or bank. Okay. So the credit will go to what? The credit will go to bank. Okay. So this is the pages, the double entry for the pages transaction. Right. So for the sale, what do we credit? What do we debit? Okay. So for the sale, we debit cash or bank or trade receivables or some call it what? Debtors. Okay, that is we're buying, we're selling on credit. So these trade payables or creditors. Okay. So how much is going to bank or creditors or receivables? It's the total of this column. So this column total, you go down, I do control page down, you go down. Okay, you go down. But the problem is that's not because we also have what? We also have pages in this column. So what you do is you do the same sum if tab, the range would be this one, comma, the criteria would be cell, comma, then the next is the what? The sum range. So the sum range will be this one. This is the sum range. Enter. Okay. So just a minute. Go down. Why am I getting? This is not correct. This is not correct at all. Okay. Let's go back to the pivot table. Let's go back to the pivot table. Let me remove these fields. Remove field, remove field, remove field. Okay. I also remove field, remove field. Okay, so if I take customer, supplier or customer, I put them as my rows, and then I get the net amount. Then I also get the VAT amount. I also get the amount gross. All right. So pivot tables are also good when you're summarizing data. So let's group all customers. We have one group. So all customers. Okay. I right click group. So these ones will be what? Sales. Okay. Okay. Customers. All customers. Customers. Supplier all the way to that one. Group. This one will be what? Purchases. Hey, I group like that. Okay. So instead of me going to okay, for the final project, so we're saying the purchases, it will be the same as where the purchases, input VAT. What are we doing here? So input VAT. Oh, yeah. To remove one of the fields. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused. Okay. So let's go to supplier or customer. Okay. Okay. So for the customer, how much? Just get the total. What's the total here? Customer. I group it. Okay, in short, let's not bother here. Okay. For the sales, okay, for the total of the sales, you can just simply here filter and go to what? Sale. Okay, how much is the sales? 103. So I'll clear the filter, and to here, come here, Control Shift V. What am I doing? Okay, let me filter. Okay, copy, Control Shift V. Create filter. Let's see, Control Shift V. Oh, no. Okay, okay. It's this one, the amount which is going to the amount which is going to the bank. That's 203, right? So for the sale, and then what's the credit? Okay, the credit will be to sales and the other one, VAT. Okay, so what is the output VAT? Output VAT is this one. Then obviously the sales will be what? Will be this minus that. Let's prove. Do we have 1 and 1 here? If I group this one, I group, yes, we have 1 and 1 here. See? 1 and 1. Then here is also what? 1 and 1. Those are our what? Our cells. Right. So then for the yes, for the total cells, that's 203. Here, what do we have? 203. Okay, that's correct. And VAT, we have 11,640. Here we have 11,640. That's correct. So that's the double entry. Okay, we've solved this problem of the double entry. One more thing. What's this? Okay. Uh, yeah. Page. So 644 pages 7 Okay. You know, these formulas sometimes they have some issues. So I think the best way for you to summarize your data is using the, as I have explained here, the sometimes you can use the pivot table to summarize your data. So but here I think I'm getting the wrong input VAT. Okay. So let's try to find the okay. Let me do something. If I filter the pages is here. How much am I getting for VAT? It's 7632. Okay. 7632. 7632. Control Shift V. 7632. Okay. Let me clear the filter. So if this one is supposed to be 7632 and here is also supposed to be 7632 because if you go to the pivot table here, we have this one, which is also correct. So this copy or cut, Control Shift V. Okay. Okay. X Control Shift V. Oh, it's not running. Okay. Let me do it quickly like copy paste. So the VAT should be 7632, which is the same as this one under the pivot tables. What have I done now? Okay. Okay, let me just shift rename pivot table, control save. Okay. If you want to prove, if you add this data, these creditors and uh the datas, uh, the purchases again. I think the purchases figure is wrong again. Mm. The purchases figure must be wrong. The purchases figure must be wrong. So if I filter again for the purchases and go to the this one is 125. Okay, here again should be Control Shift V should be 125. Now we agree. 125, 125 to 100. Here, what do we have? Yes, 125. If you add this and that, here we have 125 to 100. Okay, so if you want to prove, if you add this amount which goes to the bank or the debtor, and this one which goes to the bank or the creditor, you find that the total, which is 335,972, is the same as this total here, 335,972,000. Okay, and here we have this plus that, 335,972. Right. So we have solved this question of prepare general ledger entries. And then on the VAT control account, let's create the VAT control account. It will simply be the VAT control account. It will be like this. VAT account, VAT, and just do like this, control one, alignment, general, center across selection, control B. Okay, so input VAT, input VAT, output VAT. Okay, how much is the input VAT? This is the VAT on pages. That's that one. How much is the output VAT? That's VAT on the sales. That's that one. Okay. The net effect, we have more credit than debit. So balance carried down will be how much? Balance carried down. Uh, balance carried down will be this one minus that one. Control, copy, Control Shift V. So if you balance that account, it will be the same as that one. The account is balanced. The account is balanced. Okay, we have done the VAT control account. Then let's go to prepare a VAT reconciliation summary. So for the VAT reconciliation summary, this one will be simple. We just get, we just copy that and paste it here. Okay. Then you say how much is the output VAT? Output VAT is this one. How much is the input VAT? Input VAT is what? This one. So net VAT due, okay, to who? Okay. Obviously, this is due to the IRA or the MRA because the output is greater than the input. Okay. So this is the liability we need to pay to IRA or Malawi Revenue Authority. Okay. So this is how simple the VAT concept is. We're accounting for the VAT. All right. So this is how I've come to the end of my teaching on VAT. In due course, I'll also be sharing some of the assignments, quizzes on the same. Thank you.